Life already moved. The I is a secondary life mistaken for reality. You confuse life with its commentary. You are making one mistake, not a moral mistake, not a psychological mistake, a perceptual mistake. You are confusing life with the commentary about life. That confusion is the self. Life already moved. Life does not wait for permission. The body moves, the word comes out, the reaction happens, the decision occurs. Before the sentence I did this appears, life is immediate. It is non-verbal. It does not explain itself. By the time you say I, the event is already over. So when you say I acted, you are lying. Not intentionally, but structurally, you are late. The I is a secondary life. The I does not live where life happens. The I lives in memory, narration, explanation, justification, regret, pride. This is afterlife, not life. A replay, a summary, a story. You are not living, you are reviewing footage and calling it reality. That is secondary life, mistaken for reality. Here is the core illusion. Because the commentary feels alive, you assume it is life. But feeling alive does not mean being real. A dream feels alive, anxiety feels alive, imagination feels alive. Yet, none of them are happening now. They are happening in thought. Reality has no narration. Only identity needs narration. You confused life with its commentary. This is the decisive point. Life requires attention, response, movement. Commentary requires memory, comparison, identity, continuity. You respond not to what is in front of you, but to what you think it means about you. So, you are never actually here. You are inside an explanation. That explanation demands defense. Defense creates tension. Tension creates suffering. Not because life is hard, but because commentary is being treated as authority. Understand this clearly. You don't need to silence the mind, watch thoughts, improve yourself, transcend the ego. Those are still secondary activities. You only need to see the timing error. Life happens. Thought reports. Identity claims ownership. When that order is seen correctly, the I loses power without resistance. Not because you defeated it, but because it was never in charge. Final line. You are not living your life. You are living the explanation of it. When explanation ends, life does not improve. It simply resumes. The I is a memory blaming the present. Life already moved. The I did not cause the action. The I reported it. You mistake the reporter for the actor. That mistake is the self. The I is a memory claiming the present. The I cannot exist without the past. First, what that statement actually means. The I did not cause the action. The I reported it. Something happens, your hand moves, a word comes out, anger flares, attraction arises, a decision appears. Only after this happens does a thought arise saying, I did that, I chose, I shouldn't have, I must improve. That thought is late. It is a news reporter, not the event. But you confuse the reporter for the actor. That confusion is the self. Why the I is memory, not reality? The I cannot exist without the past. Ask yourself, without memory, can you say, I am disciplined? Without memory, can you say, I am improving? Without memory, can you say, I failed last time? No. The I is a bundle of remembered conclusions, claiming ownership over what is already done. Life moved, then memory spoke, then identity claimed credit or blame. So, every thought is secondary life, not real? Yes, but be precise. Thought is not false. Thought is derivative. Reality is first order. Thought is second order commentary. Example, reality. Hunger arises. Thought, I shouldn't be hungry. Thought, this diet isn't working. Thought, others eat better than me. Only the first is real. Everything after is psychological theater. Why thought feels real? This is crucial. Thought feels real because it references emotion. Emotion references the body. The body is real. So thought borrows reality. It doesn't possess it. This is why stories feel alive. But aliveness isn't truth. A dream also feels alive until waking. So are all thoughts secondary and unreal? Yes, except one category. Functional thought. Turn left. Lift the weight. Send the email. Eat now. These thoughts do not create identity. They do not reference the past. They do not protect an image. They disappear after use. Psychological thought lingers. It loops. It wants continuity. That continuity is the illusion of a self. The key mistake you are seeing, this is insight. You said, because thought can be any kind of story, it is not real. Correct. And more dangerously, because thought can be anything, it has no authority. Yet, you have been living inside it. This is what I call living a secondary life. You are not responding to life, you are responding to commentary about life. One last correction, important. Do not try to stop thoughts. Do not try to escape the mind. Do not try to become the watcher. Those are still identity games. Just see the order correctly. Life happens, thought comments, identity claims ownership. When the order is seen clearly, the spell weakens without effort. Not because you did something, but because the reporter lost authority. So, you are not trapped in thought. You are trapped in believing the reporter is the actor. When that confusion ends, there is no self to fix. Only life moving cleanly. What secondary life actually means mechanically. There are two layers happening at all times. Primary life, reality. This is what is happening. Sensation, movement, perception, response. No narration, no evaluation, no identity. Hunger, eating. Sound, turning. Threat, tension. Work, action. This layer is silent and sufficient. Secondary life, commentary. This is what you say about what happened. I shouldn't have. I am behind. This means something about me. Others are ahead. I must protect my image. This layer adds nothing to action. It only adds identity. And identity demands continuity, which is suffering. The fatal shift from responding to reacting. When you live in primary life, stimulus turns into response, turns into done. When you live in secondary life, stimulus turns into story, turns into emotion, turns into more story, turns into paralysis or compulsion. Example, primary, someone disrespects you, body tightens, you speak firmly or walk away, event ends. Secondary, he disrespected me. Why does this always happen to me? I should have said something else. Replay, turning into resentment, turning into imagined revenge, turning into identity hardens. Life ended in 3 seconds. The story keeps it alive for 3 years. That is secondary life. Why secondary life feels like you? Because secondary life is made of memory, and memory gives continuity. Continuity feels like a self. But continuity is not truth, it's just repetition. A song on loop doesn't become reality because it keeps playing. You are not responding to life. This is not metaphorical, it is literal. Right now, ask, is there an actual problem in front of me? Or am I reacting to an interpretation of a problem? Most of the time, the body is safe, the room is quiet, nothing is demanded. Yet, anxiety exists. Why? Because the mind is responding to imagined futures and remembered pasts. That is not life, that is simulation. Why thought has no authority? Authority comes from necessity. Hunger has authority. Pain has authority. A car approaching has authority. A thought like I am falling behind in life has no immediate necessity. It demands attention without urgency. It is like a false fire alarm, but you obey it. That obedience is the problem, not the thought. The deepest trap. Trying to fix secondary life. Most people do this. I need better thoughts. I need confidence. I need clarity. I need self-love. This is commentary trying to repair commentary. I would say you are rearranging furniture in a house that does not exist. Primary life does not need improvement. Secondary life cannot be improved. It can only be seen through. What happens when you stop living secondarily? Important. This is not peace or bliss talk. What actually happens? Decisions become faster. Energy stops leaking into rumination. Fewer explanations are needed. You do more, justify less. Social games lose gravity. Comparison loses fuel. Not because you are detached, but because there is nothing to protect. One sharp diagnostic. Use this daily. Ask yourself, am I dealing with a fact right now or a story about myself? If it's a fact, act. If it's a story, drop it. No wrestling, no analysis, no spiritual effort. Secondary life survives only through engagement. Final line, this matters. Life does not require narration, only identity does. When narration loses authority, life resumes its original function. Movement without psychological residue. Thought itself has no substance. A thought is just an electrical event, a symbol. If thought stayed at the level of symbol, you would ignore it the way you ignore background noise. But you don't. Why? Because thought piggybacks on the body, the borrowing mechanism, step by step. Let's slow it down. Thought by itself is weightless. Tomorrow I might fail. On its own, this is nothing. No threat, no urgency, no pain. If thought had to stand alone, it would collapse instantly. Thought triggers emotion. The moment thought appears, the body responds. Chest tightens, stomach contracts, breath shortens. Now something physical is happening. This is where the trap begins. Emotion gives thought mass. The body is undisputably real. So the mind concludes falsely. If the body is reacting, the thought must be true. This is the fundamental error. The body reacts to suggestion, not truth. Your body reacts in dreams. Your heart races during imagination. Your palms sweat during memory. The reaction proves sensitivity, not reality. Why stories feel alive? A story is just a sequence of thoughts, but each thought triggers micro emotions. Those emotions tighten muscles, change breathing, shift posture, alter hormones. So the story feels embodied, and embodiment is mistaken for reality. But embodiment is just feedback, not verification. Why aliveness is not truth? This matters deeply. Aliveness only means something is happening in the nervous system. It does not mean what is being thought is real. A nightmare feels alive. A panic attack feels alive. Jealousy feels alive. None of these require a real event now. They only require belief. The body is innocent here. Do not blame the body. The body is a servant, not a judge. It responds to images, suggestions, memories, projections. It cannot distinguish present danger, remembered danger, imagined danger. That distinction belongs to perception, not biology. Why you get trapped? Because once emotion is present, thought says, see, this matters. Then thought escalates, explains, justifies, defends, predicts. This creates a closed loop. Thought, emotion, proof, more thought. This loop is the self, not a thing, a process. The key insight. Do not miss this. You don't believe thoughts because they are logical. You believe them because they are felt. Feeling hijacks authority. That is the entire mechanism of suffering. Why suppression doesn't work? Trying to stop thoughts is useless because you are attacking the symbol, not the borrowed energy. The energy is in the body reaction, but even calming the body is not the solution. The solution is seeing the theft. Thought stole reality from sensation. Once the theft is seen, the body still reacts, but thought loses credibility. Final line. Thought feels real not because it is true, but because it is embodied, and embodiment is not evidence. When this is seen clearly, stories don't need to be fought. They simply lose their power to command. Life does not wait for understanding. It moves, acts, responds silently. The I arrive after claims ownership and turns movement into story. That story borrows life from the body and calls itself real. This borrowing is the entire illusion. You were never trapped in thought. You were trapped in believing the reporter was the actor. When this timing error is seen, not analyzed, not fixed, the secondary life loses authority. Not because it was defeated, but because it was never in charge. Life continues, unnarrated, undivided, clean.